Hey, Tom Ferry, your coach. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. I'm sending this to you in a follow-up to a bit of a scuttlebutt Gary Vaynerchuk and I had at the Design the Decade Ahead. And yes, you're getting this because you were at that event. And Gary said, you got to discover your passion, you got to find your DNA, and then you got to run with it. And I said, Gary, you know, most people don't know how to get that. You know, what's the story? Like, how do you do it? And he said, you got to just sit back and think. You know, he kind of had his conversation, but it was kind of loosey-goosey. Now, I love Gary, so I'm not dogging him. But I then turned and said, well, Gary, I know there's 5 questions that any person could answer that by taking the time to answer it, they would really get it. And he said, no, TF, it's not that easy. And it was funny. We kind of, debated back and forth. My mom actually was sitting in the room. She called it a scuttlebutt, which is kind of cute. Gary Vaynerchuk is a pal, and I respect him immensely. And yet I promised you, because you were there, what were those 5 questions, and I want to deliver that for you today. And I know, Gary, if you're watching this, you've answered these 5 questions, because you know what? The genesis of these 5 questions came from one meeting where I sat down with Mike Vance, my coach at the time, and I said to him, you've been exposed to all these extraordinary people. You worked for Walt Disney for the last 8 years of his life. You were in charge of idea and people development. You mentored Steve Jobs. You worked with and mentored Jack Welch. You spent hours and hours and hours with Mother Teresa. His exposure and his depth of people was extraordinary. So I sat down with him one day in Miami and I said, Mike, what do all these people have in common? He said, they've all answered the 5 fundamental questions and then they live by them. Now I had 20 other questions I wanted to ask him. Guess what I did? I scratched out those questions, turned my journal over and said, what are the 5 questions to help you discover your passion, to help you discover your DNA? So Gary, you watch him, check it out. Very simple. He said to me, number 1, you got to sit with a yellow notepad or, whatever you want to do, put it in your BlackBerry. But you got to answer, why am I here? Not why am I here sitting watching this video. Why are you on this planet? That's a big question, is it not? He also said to me, you could say, what am I passionate about? What am I really, authentically, emotionally, in my heart, in my soul, in my head, all day long? What really stokes my fire? What makes your heart sing? That's all the same question. Why are you here? Are you here to sell some real estate now and then? Or are you here to change the lives of the people inside your community? Do you want to make a difference for somebody? What's your cause? Mike Vance used to say to me all the time, what's your cause? What do you do every day because you just absolutely know that you are the person on this planet to do it? All of that is the answer to why you're here. Question number 2, he said, you got to answer, what are your God-given talents? What do you do that's effortless? What do you do that when you're doing it, the time doesn't go tick, tock, tick, but the time just absolutely flies by because when you're doing it, you love it. For me, it's coach, it's create, and it's contribute. Those 3 things, C3, I can do them all day, every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Absolutely love it. What are your God-given talents? What do you do really well that makes a difference for the people you're looking to serve? What do you do really well that's effortless for you? Your God-given talents. He said, number 3, how do you want to show up for others? How do you want to show up for others? So I know what he was talking about. When he said it, I said, you're referring to my values. See, if you're going to be really successful, Gary Vaynerchuk knows his values. He knows where he stands. He's confident, just as you and I are. We know who we are. We know what we're about. The question is, have you ever taken the time to ask yourself, what are all my values, and then list them out, and then do a hierarchy ranking? Is this one more important than that one? Is this one more important than that one? So you actually get clear on your real values and where they rank and what is most important and then what is, what would be least important. I would challenge you to do that. That's something we can help you do, by the way, if you need help with that. But you got to know what your values are. So when you're out doing your God-given talents and when you're out doing your cause, it's effortless. That's what he was referring to. It's effortless. He said, I get up in the morning, I don't think, oh my goodness, do I have to record a video today? I just get up and go, let's go, right? Number 4, 5 years from now, how is the world experiencing you? So it's 5 years from now. 5 years. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 2015. How is the world experiencing you? And this is where I challenge you. Remember, I asked Mike Vance, what do all these people have in common? He said they had all answered these questions. They were all passionate every day. Think about Steve Jobs, right? Think about Steve Jobs. We're talking, this is like 1975, 76 when he was working with him and then did all the way through and again is working with him now. Steve always knew where he was going. Gary knows where he's going. I know where I'm going. Do you know where you want to be 5 years from now? Are you declaring it? Are you deciding upon it so you're living into it every day? And then the last one, number 5, he said, who would you already be if you were there 5 years from now? Not what do you need to do. Who would you be? Who would you already be? Would I be confident? Would I be passionate? Would I be articulate? Would I be powerful? Would I be authentic? Would I be transparent? Who would you be? Describe that. So you were just with me at Design the Decade Ahead. We spent 3 days. Fun, intense. I mean, Ian Watt, Jim Marks, Shadi Bazzi, Gary Vaynerchuk, myself, all these extraordinary people. And we were designing how we wanted our business and life to be. This, my friend, will help you really discover your passion. The first time I did this, I was flying back from Miami. I wrote down a few of the answers. I was inspired, but I didn't get it yet. It took me almost a year of going back to that same journal, a year of going back and rethinking and looking and really getting to the essence of why I was on this planet. And I can tell you that today, what I do all day, every day, is because I answered these questions. Once I got that, I knew why Tom Ferry was on this planet. If you want that kind of power, if you want that kind of certainty, security, passion, knowing, just a sense of knowing exactly why you're on this planet, answer these questions. I dare you. No, I double dare you. Answer the questions, find your DNA, find your passion, and you know what, my friend? Then when I say to you, strategy matters and passion rules, it'll just mean so much more. Thanks for watching this video. Thank you so much for being with me at Design the Decade Ahead. And if you're watching this video and you weren't there, sorry you weren't there, come to my January event. Check it out on the website. All right, talk to you soon. Take care.